Hey everyone! So this is Backstage Pass. I'm Natalie McCool and I'm here with a very special guest, Simon Maddison.
Hi.
From Silent Cities.
Hi.
How you doing, Simon?
I'm a bit nervous.
This is so weird. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so used to just having a chill with you, and now I'm actually doing some kind of mad chat interview with you. This is crazy. So, Simon, I know what you do, but can you explain, as an artist, what do you do for our listeners?
Well, I tend to write songs quite abstractly. I don't really think too much about what I'm doing. A lot of it is, I think I've kind of tried to fit myself inside a box where I force myself into being really like metronomical and, you know, mathematical about music. But I think I've found the last few years I just kind of love vibing shit.
Yeah.
So I think what I do, I tend to just kind of mess around with a guitar, with lots of pedals and stuff. Well, I say lots of pedals. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pedals. That's not a lot compared
You've
to some.
actually downgraded, you just tell me.
Downgraded to
Why
a
would you
smaller
downgrade?
stag case. So I had a big stag case, the one that goes for 40 quid, and I've shrunk it in the wash down to my original £15 one.
Yeah.
Just because I'm on tour, whoop whoop, and
Woo-hoo.
I just
Hell
couldn't be
yeah.
asked carrying all that shit everywhere. So yeah, basically, yeah, I kind of make music which kind of fits into like there's a lot of stuff in there. I think I'm inspired by a lot of different music. I'm listening to a lot of electronic, a lot of I've been into like a lot of jazzy, folky stuff in the past, but I'm getting into more kind of electric guitar-y stuff at the moment,
which is amazeballs.
Yes.
Yes, and I can see one that is very nice.
Yeah.
What is that? Fender
That's a Fender
Starcaster.
Starcaster. So it's kind of like you read it, and it was really funny. I let my work colleague have a go at it, and he read it, and he was like, "Wait a minute, Starcaster, what?"
Yeah, you kind of read it, and you're like, Stratocaster.
It's quite trippy in a way.
So we will be hearing that at the end of this podcast, where we are going to play a song, which is a very special song for both of us. But you'll have to wait. Just a little teaser for you there. Yes, it is worth a wait. So you play guitar, you sing.
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, it's pretty much how I discovered falsetto. Was "Where Is My Mind." Obviously, I did it better 10 years ago. I don't know what's happened.
Oh, you do it perfectly now. Do you play any other instruments? You kind of play a bit of keys.
I dabble in a little bit. It's more like synthy stuff.
Yeah.
If I'm going to do like pads and that.
Yeah.
But if it fits like the ambience, I'm definitely not any good at chords. I have to think too much for the piano. Whereas that kind of limits. I have written songs on a piano before, but I've kind of felt like trapped in a box because that's pretty much all I know. But I think with any instrument, I think I started out on the guitar. I've just pointed at the guitar for those who can't see it. Basically, I kind of learned guitar before learning chords or anything, so I kind of just made it up. And I think from that, I've just kind of that's been my mode.
It frees your mind. Like you've got no preconceptions about anything.
Yeah. I mean, the chords are, really useful and stuff. And as a music teacher,
mouth on the mic.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. The chords and stuff are really, the theory and stuff is so important. But I think I still kind of base all my writing around pure instinct.
Yeah.
And like my gut instinct, I trust like a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm very nervous. That I'm
you have to literally move your head with the microphone. It's okay, don't worry. You are doing so well.
I'm just scared in case I'm too loud.
I'll speak for a bit then. So basically the whole point of this podcast, this is basically about who I work with, really. And so I just kind of emailed everyone and said, hey guys, do you want to feature in my podcast, which I'm doing about everyone who I've worked with over the past couple of years and people who I think are absolutely amazing in whatever field they are in. Yes. And it's kind of always to do with music because obviously I'm in music. So that's the kind of point of this podcast. It's called Backstage Pass, and it's literally a window into my life as a musician and who I work with and all the awesome people I know and what we do. So yeah, I do have a lot of questions. I don't think we'll get through them all. My second question is, how would you describe your genre? Because you are a lot of genres.
Yeah,
I think
it's hard. I think every song I write, I don't really kind of sit down and go, I'm going to write I don't really write funk or anything like that. But I tend to, I find it really hard with labels and stuff. I don't want to kind of sign myself up to a label and be like, just box me in like a boxy man.
Box me in, man.
And like, I think I'd kind of describe it, and people always ask me this question, like, how can you describe your music? Yeah, if I haven't heard it before, so tell me what it's like. And I'm kind of like, literally all the words are trying to fit through one door and they can't get in because they're all fat. And
I think dream is a word that could be used.
Yeah.
Like dreamy
kind of.
Something.
I mean,
dream indie folk or something.
Yeah, one of my friends said, like, some of the songs have got a really nice balance of jazz, blues and folk at the same time. But then there's the kind of sonic level to it where it's more ambient, dreamy, worldy.
Exactly, yeah.
So
sonically,
yeah.
I don't know what's Dream Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog. I do like Sonic the Hedgehog.
I had a crush on Sonic when I was little. No, that is no word of lie.
It's really strange you say that, because I used to run around like Supersonic in the playground.
Supersonic.
And I got picked on for it.
No.
I used to put my hands behind my back and everyone was like, why are you running like that? And I was kind of like, because I'm Supersonic.
Because I'm Super Simon, mate.
Yeah, Super Simon. Get with the program.
Get with the program. So I actually wanted to ask you, you meant, well, actually it was me that mentioned it, the word folk. Uh-huh. So whenever someone mentions the word folk in relation to an artist, I always feel like then they're massively typecasted, and it really pisses me off. Like that is the reason I started playing electric guitar. Not the only reason, because I like pedals and wanted to expand on that. But I was just sick of being labelled a folk artist, because actually folk is so far away from what. It's
not even a genre.
It's not. Yeah.
It's like
it's a
an
song
ideology.
Format. Yeah.
It's an ideology more than anything, and I know. It's a weird thing. I think the connotations of an acoustic guitar, people immediately either tag you with singer-songwriter or folk.
Oh, folk, yeah.
And it annoys me, because I think it's just a guitar. So I've done exactly the same thing very recently. I hate the singer-songwriter label.
Yeah,
and it drives me mad.
It's like a shame, because acoustic guitar is lovely. But when you're faced with so much like lazy journalism and people kind of typecasting you just want to be like, fuck all you guys.
All you bastards out there.
Yeah.
Labelling us.
Don't label me.
Yeah.
But I really like the fact that you have a project name, Silent Cities.
Yeah.
Because that kind of takes it then away from that whole area of like singer-songwriter acoustic folk and makes it more interesting. So that's kind of something that we have in common, like. Because you had your Silent Cities and you had your whole Medina project. So can you tell us about that?
I mean, I did a lot of recordings, and it was kind of like a play on. I'm jumping ahead. So I did a lot of recordings for the Medina project, which was a bunch of tracks I recorded around 2014, 15, and it was kind of a play on like Silent Cities, and when you do like your own self-titled album, because Medina's like it's I think it's a place in Malta, and it's known as the Silent City.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like a very silly play on a self-named album.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
But like, I mean, the city itself, I thought was quite interesting. Like, I haven't been there, and I think I had a few of the tracks played on the radio, and they were like, Simon's went to Medina, which is in like Malta. And I kind of just let them go along with it. But so...
Yeah, it's a good journalistic angle as well. Like, people are interested in that.
And that kind of... I mean, it's... I kind of want to try and get outside of where I am in a way.
Yeah.
And there's, like, obviously loads of fantastic places out in the world. And I kind of, like... I think because I spend so much money on pedals and stuff, I can't really afford holidays, so I have to kind of name my albums after nice holiday, nice hot places in the Mediterranean.
Oh no!
So it's sad. So, but I will go on holiday at some point.
You will.
So
I like that idea. Like, because listening to your music, can I just give you a bit of background information? So Simon is my soundtrack to my like taking off in a plane. because I hate flying. So I always listen to Simon's music to calm me down because it's so like dreamy and calming. Did you know that? I've told you that.
I think so.
I've
Yeah.
told you that.
I think yeah.
This is so interesting if you didn't know that. But yeah, and one of the things like when I'm always listening and going to a different place as well, like it's very world your music as well. I think you could apply that that kind of tag to it also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like world music.
Yeah.
I do like that tag. I mean, as much as I hate tags and stuff.
No, it's interesting.
That one's quite broad, isn't it? It's a broad church, and really all music is world music in a way.
Yeah.
And it's a similar kind of label as folk in a way. It's not quite really a style. I mean, it gets into like, it gets into like stereotyping territory, doesn't it? For some world stuff, but I think world is like such a massive genre. I think you're right. I think it is like an easy home to put my music in a way.
Yeah.
Like I uploaded some stuff to AWOL, who distribute my stuff to Spotify, and they always give you two genres to pick.
It's too little.
It's too little. So I just go pop world.
Yeah, that's
like
nice.
Liverpool.
Nice.
I like going to Pop World.
Pop World.
And,
gonna have a disco vibe at Pop World. I love that. I love that. I knew this would be a good podcast. There's just vibes. I just love it.
Go to Pop World, guys.
Let's go to Pop World.
There's no subliminal advertising here at all. Go to Pop World.
Is that the one full of mirrors?
Yeah, I don't know if it's still there. I don't know if it's still open.
Maybe. It'll be open tonight, won't it?
Definitely. Back in the day. S Club 7 and some cocktails.
So, yes, moving on from my genre question. Now, this is a hot topic. Do you have a problem as a solo artist with billing? So, i.e. being constantly put on first because you're a solo artist and not allowed indie band?
Oh, yeah, that happened.
It happens, doesn't it?
It happens a lot. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to kind of say it. I kind of started thinking maybe I could be the type of act that opens for like massive big like ambient rock bands and stuff, or but I think as a solo act, I mean, I've had the opposite to some degree. I think they've had loads of big bands on and then they've put me on right at the end.
Oh, that's it. That's cool.
So I think that's quite cool. It just varies really, because I mean, my Bristol gig I was on first. I was on second, but I didn't mind. But yeah, I think the headline slot's like I don't know if that's like the old adage in a way, like having like the headline slot as the big thing. Because I think it just depends on who's in the venue. And
yeah, it depends what time you're on.
Yeah. What is the magic time?
I think it's probably about 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
9 or half 9. It's a sweet spot in the time world.
Because that's giving people like an hour enough to get levered.
Yeah.
But they're not too levered where they're like, oh, I'm bored of this.
But then
like,
they can go home early if they want.
Like, oh, I'm getting bored now.
Yeah.
People just have short attention spans.
I know.
So.
That's a whole other discussion, isn't it? Like uploading your music to Spotify. It's like, oh, Spotify. Yeah. People just have such short attention spans.
I know Chris Brown did like a 40-track album. Just because apparently it racks up the play counts because people never leave Chris Brown. So his whole album's just kind of scrolling through it. So all the plays add up.
Yeah.
So just do like 20,000 tracks for your next album, Natalie.
Yeah. I wish I could. I wish I had the time to do that.
Maybe we should do 100 tracks.
It is a really interesting idea. Like from my perspective, like always, because if you're listening to this, you'll know that in the past few months, I have been kind of toying with changing the name of my project to this new name, Memory Girl. But actually, I kind of envision it as more of a alter ego now. So kind of like a new project of songs. Because what I really love about the name is that I'm always writing about other people and my relationships with other people. So the whole idea of Memory Girl is like a project about memories and about nostalgic kind of a more nostalgic vibe, and I think it sounds that way as well, which is really cool. But I think when as an artist and you're constantly doing interesting projects that explore what you want to explore, it's It's freaking awesome. Like, we should continue to do that.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of almost a bit boring just releasing album after album.
Yeah, it does, isn't it?
I love a good concept album.
Yeah, you need concept. I was about to say.
That's why I love PJ Harvey, because she's always got an angle.
Yeah.
On every album, everything she does, it's just so interesting.
Yeah.
Who's your kind of favourite artist or band for that?
Ooh, for concept albums,
or just having a good concept or project in mind for everything they do.
I quite like. There's a band called Timber Tombra.
Oh yeah.
I started listening to them in 2011, and I've recently rediscovered them. And I think my favourite albums. Oh, I forgot what it's called. Creep On, Creeping On. That album is like
that's
pure,
so good. Creep On, Creeping On.
Pure concept, and like he is a lyrical wizard. Like, he's one of my favourite lyricists, and I think every song he does is quite conceptual, in that his lyric topics are quite very edgy, very controversial, not in a bad way, like in just a very interesting way. Kind of, so I'd love to be able to write lyrics like that.
Yeah.
But I think concept wise, I mean, he did an album, Hot Fuzz, like Hot Love or something.
Hot Love.
He's got like, I don't know if it's just him. I don't really know the band. I don't really know bands. I just kind of get the albums. But I feel like that one's kind of
Timber Tombra.
Juxtaposed. Yeah, Timber Tombra. And the band name is amazing.
Do you know, have you ever listened to Manson's album 6?
No.
They're from Chester, Manson.
Yeah.
But I love that band. Like, that album is like Radiohead's OK Computer. I think they came out at the same time, and I think they recorded at the same studio.
Wasn't that in a spooky castle or something?
Oh, I don't know.
Because OK Computer, I think that was recorded in a mansion or something.
But apparently Tom York was hearing what they were doing and kept on coming in and being like, "Oh, what are you doing? How are you doing that?"
Yeah.
And then OK Computer happened. But you know, I don't. I've heard rumours, so don't quote me on that. But yeah, Manson 6 is such an interesting album. So sonically interesting.
Check
it's
it out.
a real, like, you know, freaking ode to music.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, it's mad.
Beck's pretty good on the concepts. Like, he's
Beck.
done fucking
He's awesome.
so much stuff. Sorry, swearing.
Sorry, children.
Sorry, kids.
So moving on to something that I want to talk to you about. Being an artist, I kind of have my favourite areas of that. So being in the studio is my favourite part. Closely followed by playing live. So for you, what is your favourite time?
I think I kind of what I've discovered is I really like the spontaneity of a live performance.
Yeah.
And how every gig is different. I'm quite edgy in the studio. I know I love working in the studio, and I'm kind of like, I'm like the other way around, I think. Live performance, I feel like I've done that more than I've done studio stuff. So I feel like my live performance skills are like level 100 Black Wizard, whereas I'm still like a level 7 kind of warrior when it comes to like studio stuff. I mean, I love the studio, and I love the mixing phase, and I love like the whole process of like putting something in which you're like not quite sure about, or you're really sure about, and then it just comes out a completely different way.
Yeah. It's so, for me, being in the studio is so unbelievably experimental. It's incredible. I've seen you.
I think like
buzz it.
I think, like when we did Daydream, funnily enough, it was like the first time, because I really haven't got much kind of recording experience, and I seen you just kind of go bam, bam, bam through all these takes. I was like, wow, this is like hardcore.
I love it, you know.
I was like, I was kind of blown away by you
thanks. Then. It's not just like getting down to doing takes though. It's about like what do you want this to sound like now? Yeah. So you've got the song, and my demos are actually I don't know. The demos from my last album were a lot more worked on than what I normally do, and actually we used some of the stuff, some of the tracks in the final album. But normally when I do demos, it's really stripped back. It's literally me singing into my laptop. It's that shit. So when we go into the studio,
I'm sure it's not shit. I'm sure it's like,
I know it's shit. Actually, the first line of Pins is actually taken from one of my shitty laptop demos. There you go. Yeah. But
you should release all your demos.
You know what?
You should do it.
I should do that. They are shit though, but they've got a charm. They've got a certain charm.
There's certain
shitty charm.
I think people like demos. I think they really like that intimacy. And I've seen a few artists use like, you know, what's SoundCloud doing these days? People have a SoundCloud account, but they don't know what to do with it because like everything's about Spotify.
I know.
But like I've seen some artists and bands like just put like their first demos of tracks that from the main releases. I think it's great.
It's a great thing for people who love your music, and it's
I'm trying to remember an artist who it was. I've forgotten. It'll come back to me.
I might do an album of demos then.
Yeah.
I'd have to clean them up a bit.
Yeah.
It's probably like me like swearing on takes and just like I don't know what's going on. You can hear me eating a yogurt on one of them.
People like that. I think there's people commented that like when we've done demos and stuff and I've kind of showed them to people and they're like, people have said, "Oh, I love how there's just like a bit of banter at the end," or like we're both like laughing
outtakes
and
it's
stuff.
It's nice. It's weird being an artist doing a demo and of a song that you're really happy with, and then you listen to it so much that actually you just love that demo, and then because I've done that, I've gone in and re-recorded it and just been like, I just love the demo.
Yeah,
but it because it's a bit shit, like. You couldn't really release it.
Yeah, but it's like an energy, isn't it? You've caught in time.
You've caught that moment.
It, like Pikachu.
That first, that first moment of that song. Exactly like Pikachu.
Yeah. I've kind of told Mario, who's my...
Mario
Lil. I think it's Lil. Is it Lil? Lil?
Oh, he's going to hate us if he listens to this.
He's like,
hey,
you don't know my last name.
Aguilar.
I've got a recording where I've said the exact same thing I've said Mario.
I always do his accent and he goes insane.
Yeah, I don't think he likes it.
Mario is Mexican, just for those of you listening.
Yeah. I mean, I do. I feel really bad sometimes.
He's great.
He's fantastic.
We've both worked with him, actually, on our own project together and separately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's a good
bloody
egg.
Brilliant.
He's like next level. In my head, like, I mean, I kind of remember doing that session with you and Mario, and I remember thinking like, fucking hell, Natalie's like, poof, 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 poof. And it just seems so like instinctive, and then Mario's just like that kind of sonic layer, that kind of background noise that you kind of need to fill in, like, because live music's quite gappy, isn't it, in a way? And sorry, live music, there's a big gap between me and the microphone there. Live music's quite gappy in a way, and I think it takes a producer to fill in on the bits in a way.
Definitely.
Or just emphasize bits.
It just needs that ear, like someone to listen and be like, right, this is the atmosphere for this song, and what do we need on that? It's interesting the way you work differently with people. Like, I really want to speak to Mario for one of these podcasts because he's literally so good at that. Yeah,
it'd be interesting to see what he says. Yeah. You'll have to grill him.
Oh, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
So, yes. Speaking about being an artist, we've kind of set up here, ready for our song later on. Looking over at your pedals and stuff, I'm always interested in different people's setups, especially if they're using pedals like guitar pedals and stuff. Can you describe your live setup? So, what kind of sonically is going on?
Okay, so I've got like. The first thing that you'll notice with my setup live is I've got like this little tiny amp, which I originally kind of conceived as just being a practice amp. And also I was doing like one of them 12-month 0% credit things you get with Dawson's, and I didn't.
Yeah.
And I bought a microphone.
They're really good though, actually.
They're brilliant. I was like, how do people buy stuff? And I was like, this is how
this is
how it works.
And you grow up and you're like, this is literally how people can pay for stuff.
I just thought everyone was rich.
Yeah.
I was doing something wrong, and I was just so used to being poor. Yeah. But yeah, my setup. If you see me at a live gig, if it's just me. I've got this little THR practice amp, which I kind of bundled in with a microphone, because you have to spend over 250 or something, or 150. So I kind of, whatever, I'll just chuck an amp in.
Yeah.
Because I was just being a spendthrift. That's why I'm skinned. So you'll notice that. And what I've got is a electroharmonic superego synth engine, which sounds like it does millions of stuff.
Say that again.
Electroharmonic superego synth engine.
That is the best name.
Which is insane.
That's the best
insane
name.
branding.
That's like something out of Brand New World.
Yeah.
Brave New World, even. Brand New World.
I mean, you
go home.
You got a bit of like psychology in there. You got synth. You got engine. And it kind of
like being in the feelies.
It's really weird because it doesn't really sound like that.
Yeah.
Sound like those words. It's quite a weird pedal, and it took me ages. Originally I bought it and I thought, like, this is not going to work. I can't get it to work. I don't get it. Everyone I've spoken to who's got a super ego, hey, so I did that. They're all like, yeah, I bought it and I didn't have a clue how to use it for like a year. And like, I kind of adopted it into my pedal board because I wanted I've always wanted that kind of second sound that goes in the background. Similar to what I did stuff with Mario, and he was like, you need to get you need to replicate this sound live. So I was like, well, I've got musicians around me, but I kind of like doing stuff on my own because I think I've tried bands and stuff, and I've got Chris. Who plays
Chris
the drums.
is
He's
lovely.
Great. He's a lovely guy. He's brilliant. So my setup, when it's just me solo, the Super Ego tends to give it splits the sound. So what you're hearing from me is like a drone effect through the little mini amp, and then I go straight through the PA, almost like a dry signal, but it's not really dry. Everything's wet. If you like, that sounds horrible. I'm so sorry.
So for people who don't know what that is, wet is like when there's lots of effects on it, not actually wet.
Not like like sexually stimulated or anything. I'm really sorry. I hope like my girlfriend's grandparents aren't listening to this right now. This is really awkward.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. Carry on.
So I kind of lost where I was going.
Your super ego sex engine organ.
So the super ego synth sex organ engine is basically got like it just layers stuff. It's almost like it freezes the note, and what it gives me, and this is why it took me ages to figure it out, was it wasn't working like for ages on my acoustic guitar. But as soon as I plugged in my electric guitar, it was like, what? It was like going crazy, and I was like, it's a signal. It needs like loads of signal. It needs loads of like, what's the layman's term for like?
It needs noise in it going into it. Enough noise to make a difference.
Yeah, so it's very sensitive to dynamics, is what I found out. So anybody who's interested in purchasing a Super Ego synth,
I'm interested in trying it.
Yeah.
Wait, is that the kind of droney noise?
Yeah,
that I hear a lot on your stuff.
Yeah, so you've got like the droney sound from that, but if it's actually coupled up with the silencer, which is like electroharmonics, I feel like I'm in one of them Dawson's adverts. I should totally get that job. And basically the silencer limits the Super Ego from going too crazy. So it would just, if I didn't have the silencer, it would be like, it sounds like a gun. I haven't got a gun, by the way. I don't believe in gun rights. The silencer kind of limits it. It's a noise gate essentially. So stops it
like
from
a
just
compressor.
Going, yeah. So it stops it from just going. Kind of goes right. We're going to fade you out now.
Yeah.
So like that.
I need one of them for my delay pedal.
I don't know if I can do it. It's like like that.
Brilliant. Thank you for that. We will hear it at the end of this podcast.
Can you put loads of reverb on it?
Yeah.
Put a donk on it.
Go on. Do something. I'll put loads of reverb on it in post. Done. Okay. So what else have you got there? You got your silencer. You got your synth sex organ brain.
That's never gonna get boring. I've got the Mr. Black Supermoon, which I was just thinking. Supermoon. You can't say that without a Geordie accent.
Supermoon, mate.
Supermoon. It's straight from Portland, Oregon, which is nowhere near the northeast of England.
Supermoon is a great pedal.
It's great. It's fantastic. It's just like, I was like thinking like, oh, I need a reverb pedal. That's the one thing that's missing in my setup. And I was like, oh yeah, you could just get like a cheap one. Just get like a little £50 one. I was like, nah, let's go crazy.
One. Yeah.
So I was like boutique. I thought, right, what's the most like random reverb pedal? And I heard this pedal demoed on.
It's so you, that pedal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like.
Should have your face on it.
I should take a photo of it, man. That is me holding the button. If you Google it, there's like a man holding the knob.
It is you.
The switch. He's not holding a knob, sorry. He's holding like
the knob.
Yeah, what do you call that switch thing?
Oh,
on a pedal.
The stomp.
Stompy thing.
I don't know. Stomp button.
But yeah, so the Supermoon's pretty cavernous. Like, it's
never-ending reverb.
It's got a sway on it as well, which is kind of makes you feel like you're on a ship and you're about to like.
Love that.
Like fall in the ocean.
My one is Hall of Fame, which is great. Well, the reverb one is Hall of Fame, which is cool.
Nice.
But I don't know. I've got a few things. My two favourite ones are the Hall of Fame reverb and I've got three. My Digitech Whammy 5 octave harmony pedal, which is amazing.
That is amazing.
Which you will hear in a sec. And then Digidelay Boss DD6, which has got a warp function on it that's literally all over my records.
Yeah, you're really cool with that. I
freaking love it, mate.
Yeah, it's bloody
and you'll
awesome.
hear that in a sec as well. But yes.
I was wondering what make that noise. So it's a digital delay.
Yeah, so you hold it. It's got a warp function that you hold and it just emulates the signal over and over again, which is why I was saying I need one of them silencers, because sometimes it just gets a bit much
crazy.
like.
Yeah,
gets a bit much like.
It goes a bit crazy. I hope we get endorsed for stuff after this. I mean, that's not the agenda.
I will send this to the appropriate people.
Yes.
Maybe we will.
Mr. Black, I'm coming for you.
I'm coming for you. Give us a bloody pedal. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
My latest single, Death Routines, which is a very happy song, as you can tell by the name. So you'll be able to listen to that on Spotify. I'm hoping, and word on the street is, I might actually have a lot more material on Spotify by that point. So there might be
happy.
A lot of stuff. So we're thinking just
listening on the plane.
Like me and Mario, like he's become adopted in the band. I've adopted him. He's my compadre.
I see what you did there.
I didn't realise compadre meant godfather.
Does it?
Yeah, I always thought it was like mate.
Padre is like father, must be one. Yeah.
So con must be God.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I was like, you're my compadre to Mario, and he was like, yeah, man, I'm your compadre. And I felt like a really nice feeling. Anyway, yeah, back to the release. So basically, me and Mario were talking about just we're like, yeah, let's just get it all out. So we're just going to get it all out.
Yeah.
And you're going to have lots and lots and lots of new tracks on Spotify and stuff.
Cool. So the single's called Death Routines.
Single's Death Routines.
Sounds great on all the little blurbs that you've been posting up.
Oh,
like
you know,
like
that.
Yeah. Sounds great.
Cool.
I'm excited. Any gigs coming up?
I am actually moving to London, which is the big thing for me. So I'm quite sad I won't be based in Liverpool. So this is kind of like my formal announcement for the music.
This is your swan song,
This
darling.
is my swan song, isn't it? For the Northwest. But I'm not... That's saying that I'm not going to just like abandon Liverpool. I think I've been here for like 9 years. And I'm like... I'll always end up coming back because I've got so many good friends like yourself and like... just so many people. There's so many friends.
And the other people that I won't mention because they don't exist. No.
They don't, no.
No, we will miss you. I'm so going to come down and see you all the time.
Definitely come down. We will.
I have a few silly questions that I ask pretty much everyone on this podcast. So, if you could listen to one song and it never got old for you, what song would that be?
Ooh, I asked myself this question on the train to Bristol. Weirdly,
that's really specific.
That's really weird, isn't it? I was listening to a song that I thought I could listen to this again and again and again. I think it's a song by... Oh, crap. I've forgotten it. Can I look on my phone?
Sing it for us. I'll name it. Let's do a Never Mind the Buzzcocks.
I've got terrible memory.
You know?
Missed calls. Go away, missed calls. I've got my albums here. Do you know what? I've just remembered it. Okay.
Go on.
It's actually not just a song, but an entire album.
Oh.
Am I allowed to do an album?
Oh, yeah.
Veketa Mice by Grizzly Bear. That album
Grizzly Bear.
is just... I've never gotten bored of that album.
Yes, the one...
That's
of
my
course,
favourite
yeah,
album.
the one with 2 weeks on.
Yeah.
Yes,
I like 2 weeks, but I really, really love Southern Points. The first song is just straight in there, and you can kind of feel... I think, yeah, that's my song that I'd listen to back to back because there's so much energy.
Yeah.
It feels like they're just kind of... You can hear the microphones feeding back and everything, and it's just...
You know what I love most
brilliant.
about that band is that the harmonies are just incredible.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Incredible.
Layers. Just layers
and beautiful as well. Like it's like dainty, like a cake. But then the end kicks in of that 2 weeks and it just goes a bit like crazy. Or is that the song I'm thinking of? Maybe it's All We Ask I'm thinking of.
I think
2 weeks is very dainty as well, though.
2 weeks is quite, it's very sparse, but then when you listen to the layers and stuff on it, like especially in the harmonies, like you said, it's
really beautiful.
It's interesting. I was listening to it again today, and I was like, oh my god, I didn't even hear that harmony there. And I think that's a sign of a good song, really, if it's got depth. And you listen to it again like years later, and you're like, oh, I didn't realise that was there. I didn't catch that the first time.
Beautiful. If you could eternally be stuck in 1 year's music scene, which year would it be?
Ooh.
Or a decade?
A decade.
Go on.
I'm quite in... You know what? Any decade.
Any decade?
I'm quite enjoying this decade. I think there's a lot... I think all my favourite music kind of started to come out 2009, like Grizzly Bear. I think that album was out 2009, 2008 or something. I think I'd say like late noughties to now.
Cool.
So the last 10 years, I think we've had some absolute stonkers of artists. Stonkers means good, not bad.
Stonkers like.
Stonkers. I don't know, maybe it is a negative word in another part of the world.
No, it was a stonker.
Stonking
good. Good, isn't it?
Yeah, it is good, isn't it?
So late noughties to now. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
I'm glad that you feel that way, because people are always saying like, oh, you know, there's been no good music, and I'm like,
bollocks.
But there's been lots of great new music.
Yeah, you're not looking,
you're not
hard
looking
enough.
for it. You're just listening to
lazy.
Yeah,
lazy.
This is one that I ask everyone, but I think you'll love this question. What is your favourite Game of Thrones character?
Oh, this is a toughie. It's really tricky because, you know, the typical thing would be to say Hodor.
It's not Hodor?
I've thought about this as well. I'm trying to think.
Go on.
Who.
So while you're thinking, I'll just give a bit of background info. Basically, me and Simon WhatsApp each other at least once a day with Hodor. It's basically our name for each other, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I think like it's got to the point where, you know, Hodor kind of communicates, and it's kind of like I Am Groot and Guardians of the Galaxy. I think we actually can communicate by Hodors now. Hodor. Yeah, I kind of go Hodor, and you're like, Hodor. You know exactly what I mean.
You know what I found when I was moving out the other day? My hold the door stop that you got me for my birthday. And it's now in our studio holding the door.
Brilliant.
Hodor.
Well, it's got to do, it's got
to do the job.
I'm happy it's doing its job. Hold the door.
Hodor.
Who's my favourite character in Game of Thrones? It's kind of like a tricky one, because I feel like the last 2 seasons kind of... I need to rewatch them again, I think, because I'm not disappointed in you Game of Thrones TV show, but I kind of feel like I want the books more now, in a way. I nearly got my favourite character there, but it's gone again.
Okay, Cersei? No.
Yeah, just throw some names at me.
Tyrion.
Not
Cersei.
Tyrion.
Arya, Sansa, Jon Snow.
I don't want to say Jon Snow because like you can't help. He's a beautiful man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bran's got a bit. I love Bran in the books.
Yeah.
Bran is great in the books, but on the show,
nah.
The last season with Bran was just rubbish. They ruined him. I think I thought he was going to be a bit more like left field.
Yeah.
And not like I'm part of the family now. Hey, it's like Brady Bunch, isn't it? Starky bunch.
He's still a bit weird though, isn't he? He's still a bit emo. I think my favourite's Daenerys. Actually,
I was going to say Daenerys. You know, I really like her character. She's a real
underdog.
She's interesting. Yeah. She's kind of like
she's had a bit of a colourful life, and she's in the books. Like she at the end of that final book, she must only be about 16.
Yeah, she's really young.
She married
mega young
Drogo when she's 14, which is disgraceful.
It's shocking. I think I'd say Daenerys too. You know, I think all the bits that I kind of get, I've enjoyed all the scenes, but the one scene that really got me going in the books, and I was looking forward to seeing in the TV show, was the bit where she's in the pit, mosh pit, and she's got all
like
this,
Bran.
all the,
She's with Bran.
Yeah. And she's got like you think she's going to die and everything. And I don't think the TV show does it justice because in the books you're kind of like really rooting for her. And she goes, Drogon lands because he detects that she's in trouble in the books. And then he ends up being in trouble and she kind of dives to rescue her dragon. It's like that dragon does not need rescuing. But she jumps in anyway and she goes to save him. And it's like then you just think, crap, she's going to die. And like Drogon's going to die as well. And then they fly away and it's just that moment. And I've never read a chapter. I've never read a page in a book where I've went, feels like I've had like proper like
absolute feels.
I've never been like that before, so
that's good.
Yeah.
So Daenerys, yeah, she's a good one.
My favourite bit's the bit where she's on the dragon and she's like, "You're all my what do you call them?
Blood of my blood."
Yeah. She's like, "You're all my blood of my blood." Like, she doesn't say that, but like, I'm like, I get the same feeling. Yeah. That fuzzy feeling.
She's
of like,
boss. She is boss.
She's great. She's
ruthless.
She's ruthless.
But she's got a heart.
Yeah, she's got a heart.
Yay! Thank you so much. This has been really fun. I knew it would be fun. So yes, Silent Cities. Do you have web pages and Facebook and things?
If you Google me, I'm very Googleable. Googleable. If you got that in Dutch, you can just Google Silent Cities and it comes up the first few searches. I have checked that numerous times. Everyone Googles themselves. But I come up like straight away, so you'll find me. It'll say music next.
Cool. Silent Cities music then.
Don't click on the cemeteries one because that's click on them if you want. It's free one.
If you want, it's fine. You probably want them to. Yeah. Great. So you have your single coming out very soon, and that's going to be awesome. I will be listening on the plane. Try not to freak out. Listening to a song called Death Routines as I take off. Yeah, it's been great to speak to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Being part of this. So now we're going to play a very special song.
Hold on.
Which is a song we released a few years ago, and it was actually the idea of our friend Laura Lomax. It was kind of her project that she wanted to do. She wanted to do like this whole video surrounding the song, and she wanted us to do a cover of it. It's a song called Daydream. The video is up on YouTube, and it's a really fucking awesome video.
Insane,
you should go and check out. Please watch the video after hearing this.
You'll love it.
This is Daydream. Thanks, everyone.